Hello everyone and welcome to Club Deck Corner here on Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. This week a new season begins, but the first game ends with an all too familiar feeling. I am Scott Carney and joining me tonight is Ali Pearson. Full house actually, but first off, Ali Pearson.
How we doing, lads? That wasn't pretty doing that post-match after Kilmarnock, I have to say. I did have a few babies in me, which probably a few people did see when I did the post-match. It was hard to try and do that and not act that I've had a few babies. But shout out before the other guys, I can shout out to Alan, who I met outside the Loudon, who actually brought me into the Loudon to have a pint with himself. So it was kind of him. Kind words about the podcast as well. But yes, I'm looking forward to tonight.
Yeah, tonight should be interesting, mate. Scotia, how's it going?
All things considered, not too bad. Not great in the world of Rangers, right enough. I was worried. I know when we spoke on Friday night, I was more worried about what's going to happen tomorrow. But the weekend there wasn't great, was it?
Wasn't ideal, mate. No, it was not. We'll get into all that, I'm sure. And Ryan, how's it going, mate?
Yeah, not too bad, boys. Not too bad. Yes, hat off to Ali for doing that post-match. Absolutely, I was hoping to do it with him, but I had to scoot off. But he did a very good job of it. It's a thankless task, as you all know. So, well done, Ali. No jokes here, but that was a hard one for him, so well done, mate.
Yeah, well done, mate. I missed the game due to a personal matter, so Ali had to step in my absence to do it. I only seen about 10 minutes of the game actually live. So yeah, kudos to you, Alistair, and welcome to my world, mate. It's a difficult thing to do when you're on your own, especially after a result and a performance like that. Before we get into all that, shameless plug, to support the podcast to reach the next level, you can join the YouTube channel for as little as 99p a month. You can also buy the podcast a coffee and join the Coffee Buying Legend membership via buymeacoffee.com. All the links are in the description for this podcast. Very much appreciated if you could like the video and subscribe to the channel as well. We've took our real wee jump up and we're slowly working our way towards 5k, which is a bit crazy. So yeah, if you could subscribe, that would be magic. Thank you very much. Right, unfortunately, gentlemen, we're going to start with the terrible result for Rangers, as we were beat by a goal to nil at Rugby Park in the opener. Season opener even. A strange one for me, as I said. I missed about more than 3/4 of the game live, and watching it back when you know the result and you've already seen the aftermath on social media, it really does change your perspective on the game. But I certainly can't disagree with much that is being said. Ali, we all, before we'll come to where we seen, we'll talk about the museum tour, mate, later on after we get through Kilmarnock, but we were doing the museum tour as we seen the starting 11, mate, and every single one of us pretty much raised an eyebrow at it.
Yeah, I'll be honest, my heart sunk when I seen the team card. I looked at you and it kind of ruined my museum tour, to be honest. I know Scotia went, why have you read this team out during the museum tour? Because you've ruined it. But I had to see the team, and the midfield three for me, Carney, when I looked at it, I went, what are we doing here? What are we doing? It baffles me. And Ryan's joke is number 4, John Lundstrom, every time, and he was there. We're going to Rugby Park. You know how Kilmarnock are going to play, and we're set up as if I really don't understand the setup, Carney. But when we will get into that, but when I seen the team, yes, I thought he's got it completely wrong here, and well, we know what happens.
We know what happened. Scotia, yeah, you were probably quite... I mean, I get why Ali was doing it. I do. I get why Ali wanted to look at the starting 11. We all kind of did. But when he seen it, he should have probably kept it to himself. You're on mute. Honestly, you are on mute.
Off to a flyer this season.
Off to a flyer.
Apologies, off to a flyer. We should start where we left off. Yeah, no, that team, the starting lineup, when we heard it, when Ali told us it set you up like that kind of way. And we've had this last season with some of the sort of team selections. You know, it kind of gave me kind of flashbacks to the team that he selected for the Celtic game. There, you just look at it and you go, no, this isn't the right team for me. It's going to be a long day. It's going to be a struggle. And like I say, I did have the slight concerns. I did think we would have enough to overcome Kilmarnock. You know, and domestically, I thought we would have enough. But just seeing that sort of starting lineup, it wasn't the ideal start.
No, Ryan, you were probably, what's the word I was looking for, the least surprised out of all of us by it, I think, because you've had your reservations about stuff that we've seen over pre-season, and rightly so, mate, obviously. But again, I was just hoping hoping that you weren't right?
I was hoping I wasn't right as well. I take no joy in being right.
Oh.
I remember Ali I think he ruined everybody's tour on Saturday when he started shouting the team lineup out. Absolutely zero surprise for me, especially with John Lundstrom. Michael Beale likes him. Michael Beale likes to play two holding midfielders. And for me, it shows too much respect against a team like Kilmarnock. No disrespect to them, but I just think that we should be sweeping teams like that aside. I will not hear anything about the pitch because that lot for the other side beat them 5-0 on that pitch last season. There is no pitch excuse. Straight from as soon as I read the lineup, I had that gut feeling where I thought we'd drop them today. Did I think it'd be 3 points? Probably not. I probably thought this would be a draw. We'll score first and then they'll score and they'll make a fight of it. I did not foresee us playing so badly. I thought we'll have a bit of energy in us for the first game of the season, but the lineup, it got it all wrong, and unfortunately, not for the first time.
Yeah, not for the first time, indeed. Ali, I think the biggest debate I think that's came from it is the Cantwell situation. I think that we're finding ourselves in. I mean, he's been kind of half slated, I suppose, during pre-season. I don't know if that's entirely fair. I think he's trying to get shoehorned into a team and play a non-natural position for him. He's never going to be a guy that tracks back or runs back, but for whatever reason, Lammers seems to be the guy that's playing in his position. Now, do I think that he could have played Cantwell and Lammers in the same team on Saturday? Yes, I do, because I don't think there was really a need for John Lundstrom to be there, because there isn't a need for, as Ryan said, there is no need for two holding midfielders. We all know this. There's no need for two holding midfielders against any team in Scotland, barring Celtic. That's maybe the only time that you would consider it, considering how if you were weighing up how each team were playing at the particular time we were getting into the fixture. But Cantwell, mate, I can't understand. My biggest thing is, why are you not picking your strongest 11? And for the guy that was causing the most damage, looking the most dangerous with the ball at his feet towards the end of last season, all of a sudden finds himself starting on the bench. And then when Beale says, I didn't think the first 60 minutes would suit him, I'm like, well, when is it going to suit him? Because you're playing against this packed defence 9 times out of 10 in Scotland.
Todd Cantwell might as well sit on the bench for half a season if that's the case, because we're going to be playing against these teams, particularly away from home where they sit in. It baffled me, Carney. Todd Cantwell, let's be honest, during pre-season hasn't been great. We know he hasn't been great, but he's been playing, I think you've been going on about it, Carney, he's been playing deep for us, which doesn't suit him. He's a number 10 for Rangers, that's what he is. I said as well, Carney says, he's our best player at the moment, and last season, along with Askin, but play him in his position. Don't try and shoehorn him somewhere else. Yes, Lammers has looked decent, but you need to play Todd Cantwell. I looked at the midfield, the double, Raskin and John Lundstrom, and for me, double, yes, he can break the lines, but there was no need to be a bit of magic in the middle of the park for me to open that Kilmarnock defence up, and that's what we needed. And I thought it was shocking that he wasn't there. And if that's his excuse, that game doesn't suit him, then it worries me going forward. I'd like to think they've not fallen out. I know Todd Cantwell's had previous in clubs he's been before in terms of what's happened and folk have read between the lines, but he's come out and kind of quashed that today, Carney. But Todd Cantwell has to start for Rangers, especially in his run last season. He's one of our main players, if not our main player. He has to start for me.
Yeah, Scotia, I don't think every player can fall out of form. Every player will not always play at their peak. I completely get that, but I don't think he merits enough to be dropped completely. It's kind of difficult because I don't want to slate new players and I don't want to be hard on new players. But would I even have preferred Lammers and Cantwell to play instead of Lammers and Seema? Yeah, I probably would have, because I think maybe because he's not tried and trusted Cantwell so much, but I don't think he merited to be dropped to the bench. And at the end of the day, the guy was our most dangerous player towards the end of last season. So are you in agreement with that? Do you agree with Cantwell being on the bench, or do you agree that he should be in the starting 11?
No, I thought he should have started the game, if I'm being honest, and starting the game in position of a Dowell or a Lundstrom, I thought, because like you mentioned there that he's getting playing in a slightly different position. Well, play him like there again, and get him used to playing it. If he's going to be playing in that slightly different position going forward, it would have made more sense to me to play him because, like Ali mentioned there, I do think Lammers has probably been one of the better players in pre-season so far. And I would have persevered with playing Cantwell there. We can turn around and say, no, Beale will always tend to go for having these two sitting midfielders, but this is something that's happened quite a few times. Not even under Beale when he was there with Gerrard as well. I remember that there was away games that we would have went to, maybe even Killie, might have been St Johnstone, and the lineup in the midfield just kind of confused me in terms of not playing to our strongest 11, not playing to where our strengths are, and where we can go and hurt teams. We kind of set up almost to go like, right, Killie, we know what we're going to do. Let's try and continue, and that's not the approach you really want to be taking. First game of the season that we need to win, need to get this league title, for all that it brings us. I'm in agreement that Cantwell, for me, should have started.
Yeah, Ryan, I think there's probably a bit that I want to bring up with you as well. Obviously, you can have your say on Cantwell, but you mentioned they kind of shown too much respect to Kilmarnock, and I agree, mate. I think that starting 11 and the decision not to play Cantwell and to play two holding midfielders, it was safe, and I think Beale to a certain extent took that. We'll just need to go to Rugby Park, show up here, play football, and we'll win the game. And it's come back and slapped him in the face.
Unfortunately, it's a reoccurring theme, and we're seeing it. We've got new players in, and we are seeing a tactic that we've seen with Gio, and we've seen it with Gerrard as well, where we are setting up to. I think the argument's here to say that we're setting up to not concede rather than score a goal. That's the way it feels like. We are set up to play possession football, hold on to the ball, and don't take too many risks. The amount of risks those players, or any player, I'm not just specifically this team, but teams over the past couple of years since we last won the league, the amount of risks they take at the edge of the box, you could probably count on 3 or 4 fingers. They don't take risks. They don't shuffle it and have a shot. They don't. There's just seems that they don't try and take anyone on. It's the overpassing again, and it's what's caused us to fail. It's what's caused us to fail at every hurdle because we don't have a goal. We don't seem to have that battling or that desire to go and just have a go at goal. And it worries me. It really worries me now. I think we spoke off the pod about Michael Beale and the tactics, etc. And this concerns me hugely. Whether it doesn't matter about personnel, you can have De Bruyne, everyone else, but if you're saying to the players in the changing room, just contain the ball. When you get it, pass it about. Don't worry too much about going for a goal. Just make sure we don't concede at that end. You're going to struggle against these teams in Scotland because of the way they set up against us. And I think everyone in Scotland knows it. I think everyone knows how to play against us. Be stuffy, and you will get a chance against this defence. So if you hold out and you frustrate us, chances are you'll get a chance, and even greater chances are you'll probably score from it as well. Mm-hmm. And that's a frustrating thing for us, and it's got to change. Michael Beale has to change it already. It's a concern for me, as I said, but he already has to change it. As for Todd Cantwell, boys, it's a no-brainer. He was brought here to break the lines, to play the through balls to the striker, to mix it up through the middle, because we are so obsessed with playing out the wings and getting the deep crosses in. Obsessed with it. And Todd Cantwell was brought in to break that kind of, not stereotype, break that just style of play from us. And he did do it. He's shown it since he came here, and I want to see more of it. Bizarre decision to leave him out on Saturday.
Yeah, bonkers. Yeah, I just didn't get it at all. I really didn't. It just didn't really seem to make much sense. And as I say, the lineup for me was just far too safe. And you're right, Ali. Ali, what Ryan's mentioning there, Ryan is spot on, that there is no risk for this team. There is no risk. It's this constant, we will just maintain the ball and we'll take the chances if and when they come our way. And even a comment that Beale made after the game where he said, if you can't win the game, just don't lose. And I'm like, you cannot be saying that to a Rangers team in Scotland. You can't be saying that. In Europe, okay, I understand that. You could be playing against a serious outfit and you need to just try and not lose the game. Like, honestly, do what you can not to lose the game. But to be saying that when you're playing against a team like Kilmarnock, mate, and even this excuse we don't do well at Rugby Park, it's becoming a thing. Why is it becoming a thing? This shouldn't be happening. We should be going to Kilmarnock, and with all due respect to Kilmarnock, we should be going, lads, it's Kilmarnock here, just going to go out and win that game of football, please, because you're more than capable of doing so. I can't lie that I'm not concerned with the way that he decided to line up tactically, mate. And if I'm going to be honest, I'm still baffled by what his tactics actually are.
Yeah, we talked about it last season, Carney, about these grounds we go to, your Easter Roads, your
we create things in our own mind,
yes,
don't we?
We're creating,
do you know what I mean?
Creating, and I hate to say it, but the other side of the city, Carney, go and blow these teams away. They don't care how these teams play. They play their own way and they go and blow these teams away. We seem to set up. Exactly right. And the game's done. We don't. We seem to treat these teams as if, you say, Carney, they're a tricky team. And Kilmarnock, yes, are well organised, but look at the players we've got, Carney. Look what we've spent on our front line. We should be going to Rugby Park and doing what Celtic do to Kilmarnock. We really should be, regardless if these players haven't gelled yet. It baffles me at times, Bill. He came in last season, Carney, and one of the phrases he says was, take the handbrake off. Mm-hmm. That handbrake wasn't off on Saturday. It was well and truly on with two sitting midfielders. The tactics baffled me. I told you after Olympiacos, Carney, I was worried because I couldn't see a style of play with Rangers. I couldn't see it with Hoffenheim, and I couldn't see it on Saturday against Kilmarnock. We're playing really narrow, and we want the full-backs to be our width. Two guys at 31 years of age, let's be honest, they can't do it. Ryan's pal Yilmaz can probably do it on the left-hand side, but the two of them can't do it. And we're so predictable and easy to play against because they know we're coming in narrow. Kilmarnock will just set up shop. We can't break these teams down. I said it after Olympiacos. They were organised and we can't break teams like that down. And the first game we were against was Kilmarnock and it worried me. And going forward, we're playing a game tomorrow and Saturday against teams that are organised again. So, yes, I don't know his style of play, Carney, and that's the worrying thing. If I could see a style of play from the weekend, you could possibly get on board to say, right, I can see what he's trying to do. No Rangers fan can see what he's trying to do, and that's the worrying thing.
Yeah, I agree. If you could see something and we battled them for 90 minutes, but it was just one of those days we were like, God, that was unlucky, but look at what we could do. Look what we're trying to do even. I watched that game back and I'm going, what are we doing? Like, there's nobody taking any sort of risk, nobody willing to take a player on, nobody trying to make something happen from themselves, and nobody willing to take the game by the scruff of the neck and go, we're playing Kilmarnock here. What are we doing? Why are we showing this much respect? Scotia, the big thing that's kind of circled around social media is the James Tavernier running across the pitch to take the throw in, that everybody's going to have seen, right? I don't blame Tavernier for this, by the way. As you'll realise that Beale's getting most of my criticism because I think ultimately the performance on Saturday lies at his door. He picked the team, he's picked the tactics. The players couldn't implement what he wanted because they looked a wee bit lost. I'm not going to lie, but I understand Scotia having to reset in case you're scared of a team breaking on you. I don't understand at this point when we're chasing a game as well that we're not taking quick throw-ins, we're not trying to cause a bit of chaos, and as Ali said, we just didn't take the handbrake off the entire game.
No, and the big thing with like that as well, it's stuff we've seen all this before, and like Ali's talking about the tactics there. We've seen that before. It's the same players that we've seen it before, and players that I rate, and I think they're decent players. They've given an awful lot for us, but probably not enough if we're being completely, I don't want to be overly harsh. Stuff like that, and it's as well. I don't know about yous, but see the comments that Michael Beale said in his post-match interview as well. Again, those are things I've heard before last season. I don't want to hear them again this season. It's the same kind of things getting saying. Not at the start we wanted, had loads of control, lion's share of possession, things like this. Not taking our chances, didn't find the key moment. Yeah, it's just already. It's you don't want to throw the toys out the pram completely after one game into the season. Competitively, but it's difficult to not do sometimes because it's things we've seen before.
Yeah, Ryan, I think. One thing I can't forgive is a team like Kilmarnock coming into that game looking like they had more desire than we did. For the summer that we've been through and the positivity that we've had throughout the summer with the signings coming in, to go into this game and for the win to be knocked out of the fan sales, the stuffing to be knocked out of the fans, whatever way you want to look at it, if you're not willing to be as committed as we are, don't expect the fans to back you as much as you expect them to do so, because I think that's particularly unfair. But again, mate, there was just so many question marks as well coming flagged up the whole way through the game. Even the substitutions that Beale was making. Why are we doing like for like? Why did he not make subs at half time? Happening, mate. But I say ultimately, mate, this all comes down to, I think that I just think he thought we just had to show up. I think he thinks we just had to show up, play a wee bit of football, and we would eventually get the goal that would see us over the line, and nobody would want to talk about it. But I know you agree, mate, that the lack of commitment, desire, the willingness of the team to want to, and for someone, the senior players of that team to grab the game by the scruff of the neck, this comes from the top down, mate. It comes from Beale down. So there's big things to fix, and he needs to fix them yesterday.
He needs to fix them yesterday, and the noises he was making from the press conference today didn't fill me with much hope. I think you look at the pre-season we are now a game into the competitive season, and we are left with more questions than answers, and that is concerning. And then your manager is coming out today and saying, we played that style of football last season and won a lot of football matches. Yeah, we did, Michael. We also won 0 trophies.
Not one,
0.
Yes.
So if he is relaying that message that he said to the press and the fan media today to the squad, I can guarantee you we will win nothing this season. So that is huge red flags for me. This isn't all on Michael Beale. The players' application desire, as you said on Saturday, was unacceptable. If they think it's all right to that casual swanning about, and I think I texted you on Saturday once we'd left each other, and I said I didn't think it was all bad on Saturday in the first half. I think there was a wee bit of energy maybe for, and this is pathetic to say, but maybe a wee 10-15 minutes where I thought, we're taking two touches and passing the ball, it'll look something different. But it quickly went back to reset to the default Rangers of far too many touches. The pass was too slow, it was underplayed, totally losing possession constantly. But the more the game went on, I mean, Ali was at my shoulder and he was rolling at the telly, but he was making so many good points. You could see Kilmarnock getting hungrier and hungrier, and it was almost as if we thought, I don't fancy this. And if that's the way you're going to be in the first game of a competitive season, you're playing your new club, then that's a worry. So it isn't all on Michael Beale, but there's just so many things just now that aren't right. And as you said, they need to be right yesterday.
Yeah, Ali, I think as well, when Rangers do decide to set up like that and that way we play, all we do is hand impetus to the opposition team, because they think to themselves, if they get to half-time at 0-0, they know they've got a chance. Whereas we are kind of looking at it and going, we're still in the game at 0-0, and I'm going, well, see, at half-time, we should be sitting going, right, lads, it's 1-2-0 to us. Let's go out and kill the game off. Finish this up. We'll make the subs that we need to when the time comes. But all we do is just constantly let teams grow into games. And it's a theme that hasn't changed. And if Beale continues with these tactics, if he continues with the old guard, which, again, is a whole another podcast in itself, and by that I mean, I know there's not much to do in terms of Barisic right now, but like Lundstrom, this two holding midfielders, we were expecting to see more tactical prowess, really, if you like, but we're now just a team with no width. As far as I can tell, that's all I can see. But see, if he continues like this, mate, he's going to cost himself his job.
Yeah. If he hangs his hat on certain guys that we've discussed throughout pre-season and last season, then he will. You'll die in his sword, really, pretty much, in terms of certain players. But yeah, it's worrying, Carney. It really did. The application for me was one of the big ones with the players, because this swanning about the park, teams know how to play against us, Carney. We're so predictable. It's unbelievable. And I just wish for once we would come out the traps in a game and just take it to a team, because we don't do it. We're so slow. Ryan's correct. There was a 10-15 minute spell where we knocked the ball about all right, but we never really cut Kilmarnock open. Kilmarnock's quite happy to say, there's the ball, knock it about in front of us all you want, because they know we are not going to hurt them. I just thought it was pathetic, Carney all over. And going forward, it'll be interesting what he does, because you've got Cifuentes in there now, Danilo. Scotia's man Hadji, Tom Lawrence is coming back hopefully soon. He's got players to bring in hopefully. So I did say it'll take him time to get the team he wants. I did think it would take him time. I thought we would have a bump, but I thought it would be Europe. I thought we would have enough to get by domestically until we met Celtic, and we should have. But yeah, it's worrying, but it's down to Michael Beale to fix it because he knows all how we feel at the moment, and you know how the Rangers support can turn. Tomorrow night is huge for him.
Absolutely massive. Yeah, I giggle when you're saying things like that because we've all sat and had that conversation and we were all listening together, and now you're like, okay, Rangers, it's now time to pull your finger out, and it's time to do it right now. We'll park that there, gentlemen. We'll move on, and I'll come to Scotia. For this Scotia, you very lovely gentlemen that you are, managed to book us onto the museum tour before going to watch the game. Before the lads did, I had to leave quickly after the museum tour, but Scotia, take it away, mate. All I'll say, mate, is it kind of blew my socks off, mate. I think they've outdone themselves here.
Maybe we did do this the wrong way around.
I know.
Because today
So
it was a cracking. Yeah, it was a cracking day all in all, mate. I know you weren't there, Carney, but met the other lads for some lunch beforehand, and then off the museum tour. I booked it for that day because I was fully expecting us to have a kick-off either on the Sunday afternoon, mid-afternoon, or earlier that day on the Saturday. It nearly clashed completely with it, but thankfully it didn't. So we managed to get along to the museum for the tour there. And what can I say about it? I think I messaged you guys that I did have a wee bit of concern that there was maybe something that we were going to do that would mess it up. Just something typical that you turn around and go like that. I can hand in my heart say that no, the Rangers have absolutely nailed the museum. I thought I was really, really impressed with it. It was so good, so fun and interactive. Some of the wee quizzes, some of the things that you can do. I don't want to kind of spoil it for anyone listening. I fully urge everyone, if they get the chance, opportunity, to go along and experience it for themselves, because I just found it so impressive. There was a moment I remember walking through it. No, it wasn't it first started. There was just a wee moment where it got like goosebumps in my skin, a shiver down my spine kind of thing, because it was like, no, this is really good. I mean, I've been to a couple of other different museum tours, and they've been decent quality, but you'd maybe not get the same investment in it because it's not really your team. I thought Rangers have absolutely knocked this one out the park. I can't speak highly enough of the museum tour. It's brilliant. The prices as well, I think, are absolutely fantastic. I think it's only for walk-ins. I think it's a tenner for walk-ins to go in and do it, and that's fully worth the money. I can't speak highly enough about it. And there's so many bits and pieces that we've seen there on the day, and so many bits and pieces that we spoke about previously that'll change, that they'll update it. And I think it's a brilliant bit of investment by Rangers, and something that was sorely needed.
Yeah, sorry, Scotia. Yeah, absolutely, man. I couldn't agree more. Ryan, I think I was sceptical, probably the wrong word, but I was like, I hope they've done it justice. And obviously, you're hearing reports before we went to see it, everybody saying it was really good. But I do think that it's very well done. It's very modern in terms of it being a museum as well. I like the way it's kind of been. Again, I don't want to spoil it. I'm not, but it's broke up into different sections, and just some of the memorabilia, some of the stuff you're seeing, some of the things that you were reading, mate. It really was, as Scotia said, it was hairs in the back of the neck stuff.
Aye, I would probably describe it as a kind of an emotional journey, certainly for myself. I was blown away by it. I've been to San Siro Museum, I've been to Nou Camp's Museum, Bernabeu, I've been to all these kind of stadiums, and their museums are fantastic, Bernabeu especially. And I thought Rangers need to have a museum that's up there like that. It needs to be an attraction for tourists coming to Glasgow and they want to go and visit stadiums, and they can go to the museum as well, and they'll get a sense. Even people who aren't connected to the club will get a sense of what we're all about, and what we certainly used to be about anyway, which is trophies galore, because the history in there is unbelievable. They've captured it beautifully. The early years part, for me, there was a couple of moments I had a tear in my eyes and I had to turn away from you and pretend I was looking at something else. Obviously, my ego got the best of me, but it is absolutely breathtaking. Some of it, some of the memorabilia they've managed to keep intact. I don't want to ruin it for anyone. There's just a few things about Strauss and etc. just blows my mind. And I didn't take many pictures because I didn't want to kind of put up and ruin it for people, but it just, section after section, there's just so much to it. And I can't wait to take my dad up there. I've already said to him, I'll take him up when it's a wee bit quieter. And that was another thing. I didn't think they overbooked it either. I didn't think we were kind of fighting through people to get to things and having to wait your turn to look at something. So yeah, I was very impressed with it, mate. They've captured it perfectly, and to think that the museum will only get better. That's just starting to only get better. They'll bring other things in, and hopefully we can. This team hopefully can start adding things to the museum, because it's been a while. There's a few things in there at the end of it, and maybe looking at 99 with Neil McCann's shirt. I think quite a few people put that on social media, and yeah, that's all very well, but that's so long ago. We need to start adding trophies and history to this museum and building on it, because that is why we're the greatest club in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we fired round it in about 35 minutes. I could easily have spent an hour, probably an hour plus in there, if I'm going to be honest. And I fully intend to go back. I really do. I'm going to wait for it to quieten down as well, do the same thing. I'm going to take my old man to it and thoroughly enjoy it and read every single bit of it in there. And it is very well done. Ali, I think the most difficult part about it was us two trying to get a picture took with the team with that digital photography thing, but I think that says more about our two capabilities, mate, more than the actual museum. But your thoughts on it, mate? It was a sight to behold. Even though you were raging about the team, it was still a sight to behold.
Yeah, Ryan's tear in his eye wasn't about the museum. It was about John Lundstrom starting for Rangers again. That's what it was.
And
no, yeah, I did ruin it for myself when I seen the team, as I said earlier on, Carney, because I just think about going all the way around. But no, the museum I thought it was outstanding the way it was done. Scotia's correct. £10, I thought it's great value for money. I like how it is in sections going round. It's interactive. You can pick up and listen to different interviews, ex-players, ex-managers. You can watch games from before, UEFA Cup final, Europa League final, big massive games we've played in. I think it's a good one to bring. See if I thought maybe like Ryan with his children and stuff, I think it's good for that to bring them, because they've grown up not, and it's sad to say this, Carney, because we were spoiled when we were young, growing up with Rangers. Mm-hmm. We were brought up winning trophies every season with Rangers. Ryan's boys haven't really seen Rangers win anything. So it'd be good for Ryan to bring them along with his dad and show them the history of Rangers, what Rangers are all about. I think that's brilliant for youngsters coming through that want to be the next generation of season ticket holders at Ibrox coming through, Carney. Thought it was brilliant for that. I just thought to get everything right, even wee things at the very end, Carney, with the balcony where you could go out and you could just look at Ibrox just before you went out. Small wee things like that, but brilliant. And the way that they're going to alternate all the stuff in the museum as well, so you can go back every so often, so it's not always going to be the same. I just thought brilliant by Rangers, and they've been crying out for it for years and years, and well done to Scotia for getting it built with that Edmondson House package he bought. So outstanding, Scotia.
Well done, Scotia.
I found my name in that wall. Yes.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did, mate. Your name is on that wall. But no, as you say, it is brilliant. It is honestly fantastic. There's no way the club were telling us to say anything like that before Andy says anything. We went and experienced it for ourselves. It was really, really spine-tingling stuff. Absolutely brilliant. And I genuinely can't wait to go back. But as Ryan said, it's all well and good as well building museums, so I'll give with one hand and I'll take it with the other. It's time our teams start winning football games on the pitch. Put it that way. You can build as many museums as you want, but we need a winning team on the pitch. But no, honestly, credit to Rangers for it. It is superb, so if you can get to it, please go and do so. You will not be disappointed, genuinely. Right, we'll move on to the preview of the Servette game on Wednesday night. The press conference was today, as we mentioned a couple of times, so it does look like Sakala's off to Saudi Arabia. He obviously put up a very nice touch of a goodbye to the Rangers fans on his social medias, kind of announcing it before the club, but that deal's pretty much done. So good luck to Fashion. Beale said that he's not looking further ahead in the Servette qualification, and it would be financially beneficial to the club, as you would expect. The aim is to get a run in the Champions League group stages. The squad update, there'll be no Ridvan, there'll be no Davies. He says he will rotate the squad to keep the freshness for the weekend. On the weekend, he said he was naturally disappointed, but he can't dwell on it. Frustration's in the air. The game can't come quick enough for the players and for the staff. He said we lacked forward running and directness in our play. I'll say so too, Mr. Beale. He said there is no real concerns though. The group needs to settle a bit, but it's not an excuse. We just need to go out there and get positive results. The team played the same, Ryan mentioned, played the same way last season, scoring lots of goals. Last season, again, it was a bit of a baffling comment that he made that he was losing me at that point. But he believes in the way we play is fine. We just need to be more decisive. Ali said, more playing, less analysing. I hope that's the case, Beale, because, look, there's nothing that Michael Beale was going to come out and say today in his press conference that was going to make us all feel better. There was nothing, because it was such a disappointing performance result. And as I say, the mood just now is not the best amongst Rangers fans. But this game tomorrow night, mate, it probably suits Rangers, because I'd imagine Servette will probably give it a go and there'll probably be space for us. So I'm hoping tomorrow's the start of the season proper.
I don't think Servette will, Carney. I think Servette will look at Kilmarnock.
Well, they've got 7 players out. They've got 7 players out.
Just reading between the lines with them and the way they played against Genk, they look well organised, physical teams basically we can't play against. I think they'll sit in and try and hit us. I honestly do. I don't expect them to go gun ho against us. I expect them to sit in, Carney. I expect us to have a lot of the ball, but at the same time, can we break these teams down? That's why he needs to change the team. Some of his comments, baffling. The one Ryan mentioned, that really baffled me. He did mention a few times, though, that we are guaranteed group stage football in terms of Europa League if we get knocked out. So it'll be interesting. This was a game I honestly thought we might struggle. Not Kilmarnock, this one. So it's huge tomorrow, Carney. It's worth big money for Rangers getting into this next round. Not just the Champions League, but to get into the playoff, it's worth big money for Rangers. And they need to be at it. I just want to see a performance from them. I want to see an identity in this Rangers team, and I want to see us go at this team tomorrow. And it's down to them tomorrow, Carney. We'll back them. There's going to be 50,000 Rangers fans there tomorrow. We will back them, but it's over at this team and the management as well tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to being there. I wouldn't have said that a couple of days ago, but I'm looking forward to being there. Saturday's gone. It's gone. We can't do anything about it. It's gone. We've got a game in football in front of us tomorrow night, and we can right some wrongs and kick on this season, Carney. So, yes, I will be there, and I will be cheering them on until we go 1-0 down. I'm only joking.
Scotia, the terms of the news, the footballing cliche, we expect a reaction after a performance and a defeat like we are on Saturday, but this one very much applies.
Oh yeah, I think we definitely need it now. There's no ifs or buts about it. We definitely need a reaction, a performance, a result, more importantly than anything, because it's just one of these things that can happen. Like the first news that came out at the press conference today was squad updates. And they obviously started with Sakala, but then very quickly said, Yilmaz will be missing. Yilmaz won't be back until the Morton game. I seen that and I was like, oh, that's another 3 games, that he's missing from now until then. But then, there's no guarantees back even before then. So you're like, oh, great. No, we need to go in and get this. But like I said in Club Live on Friday, the European game, like Ali, this is the one that was maybe I was slightly worried about, because it's such a big thing. Ali kind of alluded to it there in terms of Beale almost kind of putting out the feelers to kind of levels everyone's expectations so far in terms of the groups have European group stage football, but maybe it won't be the Champions League. I don't know if the youth felt that that's maybe where he was getting to with those comments.
That's what I thought.
Felt that a wee bit. That I think we need to go out and do it, but the game itself as well. You look at Servette, and I'm kind of in the same camp as Ali in terms of how they'll play. They've got the advantage of having the second leg at their own ground, which I think is going to be like a 30,000 sellout for them over there. So we're not in the situation we've been in the last couple of times where we've had our home game was our last game. That we could go into that. So we really need to go and get a result tomorrow. They are down at the bare bones, I think, Servette, in terms of some of the players that are missing through injury. Obviously, one of their strikers, he was one of the boys that gets sent off inside 5 minutes against Genk there. But it doesn't worry you, but they managed to see out that game with playing with 10 men for the vast majority of that game, and coming back from conceding twice as well to get through. So, yeah, we need to go out and actually show something tomorrow. Doesn't help either that they played at the weekend and scored a 96th minute winner, or no, 96th minute equaliser against one of the Lausanne teams. It's one of these things like that just kind of seem to give momentum, or at least it appears that it gives momentum to the other team rather than us, because we're sitting in here. We've not had the most positive discussions about the game at the weekend there. So we really need to see something tomorrow night.
I don't think we said anything positive, Scotia, but people have been used to that with this podcast, mate, let's be honest. Ryan, messaged in the group chat when I think Ali put in, it looks like we're getting PSV in the next round if we get there. They play Sturm Graz, is that right? So
2-0 up at the moment.
Are they 2-0? So it looks like it will be PSV. But again, I said, and I'm probably still stand by it, I really couldn't care less about Europe right now. Saturday was that bad that I think we need to pull our socks up pronto and domestically. Again, it's beneficial for the club financially and all that, but it's one of those ones where I was like, I don't really care. But put it this way, mate, tomorrow night, it's not going to be a walkover.
Oh, no, it's not going to be a walkover. There's no walkovers for me. I think I'm the same as you. It's domestic football for me is where we need to start putting it right. That is not an excuse at all. If anybody listens to me, they'll know that I'm constantly cancellating the team, so it's nothing to do with that. But I'll be honest, apart from us getting to Europa League final, I've not really been bothered with European football full stop, because when we're not winning trophies, domestically, it's hard to get. I find it hard when we're not on top. I'm just focused on being number one in Scotland. That's all I'm focused on as a fan. I know it's small-minded, it's narrow-minded. Maybe when Advocat was the manager, etc. I did want Europe. I did want a bit more because you felt you were so on top. Probably the way they feel just now, they probably feel like it's inevitable they're going to win trophies domestically and they want to go and kick on Europe. I feel as if it's kind of getting your ducks in line that we need to start conquering domestically before we start. And you could see it last season in the Champions League, Carney. We were miles off it. Yes, we had injuries. I appreciate that because somebody will call it out. But we were miles off it. Absolutely. We couldn't hold on to the ball. And that's where we're at the moment. So for me, if Europe doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Wherever we end up in Europe, it happens. In terms of the match tomorrow, I don't know much about Servette, and I've heard on other podcasts that they're direct and they're physical and they're a stuffy team. Great. Great. That is completely the kind of team we don't need to be playing. I expect them to have watched Kilmarnock on Saturday and thought, you know what, let's just sit in the way they've done, frustrate them, and we'll get a chance. Because Servette will get a chance tomorrow night. They will definitely get a chance. But one thing's for sure is Rangers were sleeping on Saturday, and it is only 3 points, and you've got another 37 games to go. If Rangers are sleeping tomorrow night, they will go out of Champions League tomorrow night.
Yeah, I think you're right, mate. I do. I think you're right. I think it's time for us to wake up and fast. It really is. But again, it's one of those games that offers an opportunity to the team to really kick-start again, to put Saturday fully to bed. Ali's right though. If Saturday's happened, we can't sit and dwell on it. It's happened. We need to move on now. We've Beale and the team have to learn from it, and I'm sick of saying that as well. But it's never been more true. There's no sugarcoating things anymore. He's already used up his excuse box, his excuse card, that's already gone. It's already gone. There is no excuses anymore. It's now time to get down to business. It really is. This should be interesting. Ali, pick your starting 11.
Butland in goal. Back four, Tav, Goldson, Suter. He's going to play Barisic. I would play Sterling, but he's going to play Barisic. Ryan Jack for me comes in. Todd Cantwell, Nico Raskin. The top line, Lammers. I thought Dessers was miles off at the weekend. I'm not playing him. I'm playing Seema out wide again. I think he's more match sharp, if you want to say, and Danilo through the middle. That's my team for tomorrow. Do you want a scoreline and first goal scorer as well? Let's be optimistic. Come on, we're negative. Let's be optimistic. 2-0 Rangers. Seema, first goal scorer.
All right, I'll take it, mate. I'll absolutely take that. No problem.
50 managers points to Alistair.
Thank you very much.
Scotia, your starting 11, your score?
Starting 11 is very, very similar to Ali's. In fact, it's the exact same as Ali's, apart from, and I feel bad doing this, I think I'm going to stick with Dessers. and Seema dropping out, because I thought Seema had a decent-ish game at the weekend there. Feel a bit harsh leaving him out, but I think I'll go with Danilo and Dessers up front, but the same as Ali's for that. Because I think this is an ideal game for Ryan Jack. He comes in as a sitting midfielder, but he can dictate the tempo of the game. I feel a lot better than what Lundstrom can. So I really hope that Ryan Jack starts. My scoreline is going to be 2-0 Rangers. Lammers to score first. Be optimistic like Ali there. Be optimistic. But I do fear that we will concede and it'll be a very tight game getting into the second leg.
Take with one hand, give with one, take away with the other. Ryan, your starting 11, mate, and your score.
Exact same as Ali's. Dessers to be dropped for me. I'm not writing the guy off, far from it. He's just unfit, not sharp at the moment. I have no concerns about any signs at the moment. I think it's far too early for that. I'm hoping a lot of them will find their feet. But I do think that someone need to get up to speed a lot quicker. Seema for me, I think he could do something tomorrow night. I'm going to go him first goal scorer, and I'm going to go 2-1 Rangers.
Still positive results all in. Results all in. I think you're the one that said it wouldn't concede. I'm going to go completely left field. I'd play 3 at the back. I'd play Balogun, Goldson, and Suter at the back. If we're going to need width at some point, so you're going to need to get Barisic and Tav to get up the park. So that would be my back 5. My holder would be probably Raskin, to be honest. Probably Raskin. I'll go with that. I'll go with Raskin being the holder, and then I'll go. I think it's 2 up top. I think you need to play Danilo and Dessers because I think we need it. How many have I got left?
2 more.
2 left. Lammers and Cantwell. Not playing Jacko, but you need to go for it. He's going to need to create width somehow, and I don't think we've got the players really there to create the width in terms of the attacking, if you like. I think we're too narrow. I think we're going to need to exploit it. So I think this is a good opportunity to try the 3 at the back, and it gives you protection at the back as well. I suppose having them 3 there. I think Suter's quite good coming forward with the ball, so he could almost be a sweeper, defender, midfielder, like, if you like, and he'll be able to step out. But yeah, I'll go for it. I'll go for a 3-1-2, whatever formation I picked. But I'll go. I'll go for it. I would absolutely go for it tomorrow, and I'm going to go for 2-0 Rangers as well, and I'm going to go for Danilo to score the first goal. So yeah, all eyes lead to tomorrow night now, and it really is up to the team now to respond, to give us a response, to give the fans to something to get off our chairs about, because we all need it after what we witnessed on Saturday. So for tonight, Alistair, thank you very much, mate. I'll see you tomorrow.
No problem. Yes, you will see me tomorrow. As I say, I'm looking forward to it being back. I love European nights are brilliant.
I can't wait.
Especially at night time. The weather's to be half decent tomorrow as well. So no, looking forward to it. But as always, as I say in this podcast, Cammy, it is over to you, Rangers.
Scotia, cheers, mate.
Aye, thanks. Not the easiest pod ever to do after the result of the weekend, but we've lifted it up a wee bit with the museum talk, and all going for victories tomorrow. So here's hoping that's correct.
Definitely. Ryan, thanks, mate.
Cheers, boys. Great to have the 4 of us on. I think that's the first time for a long time, but great to have a good chat. It's a bit of therapy for me, as I always say. Hopefully Rangers put a performance in, but I think we should all pat ourselves in the back. I don't want to be cocky, but we get slated after calling this team out a bit on after the Hoffenheim game. Absolutely slated in the comments when we said we were concerned. So there you go. That's what happened on Saturday. So pat in the back for us. We're obviously top draw pundits, lads. Looking forward to tomorrow night, and here's your first of the season. Strap yourself in.
Absolutely. Honesty will get you a long way. I think if you're not honest to yourself, then if you're not honest about your opinions, then what's the point in doing this? And I think it will always remain the same as we call it, as we see it, and I don't think we'll ever change, and we make no real apologies about it either. Anyway, thank you for tuning in tonight. I really hope so much that your team wins tomorrow night and we see a bit of a performance. We will be back after the game with a reaction pod. I think it'll be myself and Alistair from the car, and obviously we'll be back on Friday as well with Club Live if if as long as these other three that I do the podcast with aren't on annual leave without telling me. So yes, we will speak to you tomorrow after the game. Before you go, if you could like the video, subscribe to the channel, all the usual stuff, that would be great. And yeah, we'll speak to you tomorrow. We are Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. Cheers, everybody.